Coming up next on Locked On Devils, it's the final home game for the Diablos until November 24th. Can they stay perfect at the Rock, or will they fall victim to the league's newest first overall pick in Matthew Schaefer and the New York Islanders? Cue the intro.
You're Locked On Devils, your daily podcast on the New Jersey Devils.
Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, my name is Zach Berman. You are tuned into Locked On Devils, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Now, the number one sports podcast network in the world. Give it up for Locked On. Such an incredible company. I'm so lucky to be part of their operation. An incredible group of people to work with. And as such a small part of the small piece of the puzzle here at Locked On, it's an honor to be able to say that I'm part of this just ridiculously amazing operation that the Locked On team is running to make sure that we get the best content out there to our best fans. Now, today's episode is also brought to you by FanDuel. Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com and win $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. I have $300 in bonus bets with me right now because guess what? Yesterday, in the fourth quarter of the Giants-Bears game, I put down $10 on the Bears to come back and win, which they did. And it was awesome. So yeah, download the FanDuel app. And thank you to FanDuel for sponsoring today's episode. Now, today is a very fun matchup. First meeting of the season between the New Jersey Devils, who are still tied atop the Metropolitan Division now with the Carolina Hurricanes. Both teams, New Jersey and Carolina. Carolina won last night in Toronto, are 11-4 through 15 games played. And that's good for 22 points. 1 point ahead of the Pittsburgh Penguins, lost yesterday at home to the Los Angeles Kings after losing in a shootout in Newark on Saturday to the Diablos. You go down the list a little bit here in the Metropolitan Division, and that is where you will find the 7-6-2 New York Islanders, who are coming to town this evening, 7 p.m. puck drop. On the MSG family of networks, you can find both the Devils and Islanders broadcasts there. The Islanders are, I would say, standings-wise, about where you expect them to be at this point of the season. But that doesn't mean there aren't some surprises in store. It's the first season under new general manager Matthew Darche, which means no more Lou Lamoriello. You can wear fun outfits to games. You can have fun on social media, and you can grow out facial hair before the playoffs. So congratulations to the Islanders. They are free from being buttoned up and looking like they're dressing for jury duty before every contest in the regular season. Now, the Islanders, roster-wise, it's a bit of a mixed bag, but we got to start with the obvious. Matthew Schaefer, their first overall pick in this past year's draft, has been a transformative piece, looking like the next offensive defenseman face of the league, following in that Quinn Hughes, Cale Makar, Drew Doughty vein. I mean, this kid straight up rocks, and I am so excited to see him. Just as a hockey fan, play in person tonight. Through 11 games, he has 5 goals, 6 assists, or should I say, through 15 games, 11 points, 5 goals, 6 assists. He is going to be worth the price of admission alone for a long time in this league. And he has really propped up what has otherwise been maybe the worst defensive unit in the National Hockey League. Because other than him, a lot of these are guys under big-time contracts from Lou Lamoriello. We'll walk through the list because it's not great. Ryan Pulock, 15 games played, no goals, 6 assists. Tony DeAngelo, 15 games played, 1 goal, 4 assists. Scott Mayfield, 15 games played, no goals, 3 assists. Adam Pelech, 15 games played, no goals, 2 assists. Alex Romanov, no goals, 10 games played, no assists, and a -5. Yeah, the Islanders are going to be digging out from some of those contracts. And they, as an organization, as a fan base, they know that. But other than Schaefer, yeah, their defense is a pain point. Goaltending behind it has been middle of the pack in the NHL. Ilya Sorokin is starting tonight. To this point, he is 4-4-2 with a 280 save percentage and 893, or no, 280. Oh my goodness. I am tripping over my words right now. 3 goals allowed per game on the dot and 893 save percentage. And he's been a problem for the Devils in the past. He has had an 8.52 record in 15 games against New Jersey, with a goals against average of 2.66 and a save percentage of 914. Last time he played in Newark was the last time these teams faced off. Final game of the regular season a year ago. The Islanders won 1-0, and Sorokin was perfect on the 25 shots he faced. New Jersey has struggled to beat the New York Islanders in their own building. Last time the Islanders lost in Newark, November 28th, 2023, a memorable game where the Devils came back from down 4-1. Curtis Lazar scored the GWG in the final minute of the third, and Dougie Hamilton went down with a mysterious injury in the middle of the game, which turned out to be a torn pec that really ended his season and hindered him for a big part of last season. So the Isles, they pose a formidable threat and have done so in Newark, and a big part of that is their forward core, which is surprisingly one of the most underrated forward cores, I believe, in the Eastern Conference, maybe even the entire National Hockey League. And the straw that stirs the drink is Bo Horvat, who is having the season of a lifetime. The former first round pick by the Canucks was selected in the draft in Newark on a pick that was traded to Vancouver by the New Jersey Devils in exchange for Corey Schneider. A trade that, in hindsight, I still think was a mistake, because Schneider was so good for a bad Devils team. He kept the Devils from being able to be bad enough to tank for a Jack Eichel or a Connor McDavid or an Austin Matthews. That's neither here nor there. What is here is this Islander forward core led by Bo Horvat, who has 18 points in 15 games played, 11 goals, 7 assists. He has 7 points in his last 5 goals in his last 5, and has been outstanding. He's been that dude. Elsewhere, the usual suspects. Matt Barzal has 12 points in 14 games. Kyle Palmieri has 11 points in 15, 4 goals, 7 assists. Leads the Isles in assists over the last 5 games. Anders Lee, 11 points, 15 games. J.G. Pageau, 11 points, 15 games. Another big, intriguing piece for the Isles. They got him in the Noah Dobson trade from Montreal. Emil Heineman has 10 points in 15 games, 6 goals, 4 assists. He's been very good. And that really wraps it up on the Isles. I'll cut to the chase here because I have a lot to break down from the Devils side of things. I think the home winning streak for New Jersey comes to an end tonight. There's something about this game, the way the Isles have played them at the Rock. I don't love the vibes. Sorokin has always been a tough nut to crack. I mean, they can absolutely win this game. Would love to see them win this game, given that the next 5 are on the road, and they're going to have to face off against some pretty good teams, including, hey, look at Chicago. Chicago has 18 points right now, and the Devils will be playing the Blackhawks at the United Center. First game of a 5-game road trip on Wednesday night. The late game on TNT, their first national broadcast since opening night. 9:30 Eastern Time puck drop in Chicago. But Bedard just took the league lead in points back from the man who was selected first overall a year after him, Macklin Celebrini. I've seen Bedard play in person. I've seen Celebrini play in person. They're both amazing. The future of the league between Bedard, Celebrini, and the man that Devils fans are going to see for the first time tonight, Matthew Schaefer. The league is in good hands. The next generation of superstars is here, and it is awesome. But I don't love the Devils in this game. It seems like one where the Isles have had their number at home. The Devils, conversely, have had the Islanders' number at UBS Arena. So it's interesting. But Give me the Isles 4-2 tonight against Jacob Markstrom, who will be in net for New Jersey, and the New Jersey Devils. Now, a caveat here is that it is a revenge game for somebody on the Devils, and that would be the greatest defenseman in the National Hockey League, Dennis Cholowski. Are the Devils really going to lose a Dennis Cholowski revenge game? We'll talk about that after the break here on Locked On Devils. Now, just a quick shout out to the rest of my family because I was about 15 minutes into recording the first take of this episode when, if you don't already know, my family, we are crazy New York Giants fans. And the news broke about halfway through that Giants head coach Brian Daboll had been deservedly fired, and it screwed up the whole recording. So I had to start from scratch. This is take 3, believe it or not. But for Brian Daboll, he has lost his job. And where do you go when you lose your job? You go to Indeed to find a new one, and they are sponsoring today's episode. You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday? How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. When it comes to hiring, Indeed is all you need. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other sites. Indeed sponsors job posts. Put your post at the top of the page and help you reach the right candidates faster. I've been in that spot where you need the right hire like yesterday. The pressure's on, and every day without the right person is a setback. That's why Indeed sponsored jobs come in handy. They make sure your post is seen by the right candidates right now. Now, you can speed up your hiring process with a $75 sponsored job credit. Just go to Indeed.com/locked on right now and support your show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring or just lost your job because you held your rookie quarterback in with a concussion? Indeed is all you need. Welcome back here, Locked On Devils. Happy Dennis Cholowski revenge game to all who celebrate. And the New Jersey Devils will be hosting the New York Islanders tonight at 7 p.m. Let's talk about the lines that the Diablos are putting out. First, some injury news. Zach McEwen is back in for the Devils after getting traded from the Ottawa Senators in exchange for the biggest mistake of Tom Fitzgerald's New Jersey Devils tenure, Curtis McDermott. But McEwen played one game on the first Saturday of the season in Tampa. I believe it was October 11th. Played very well and then was out with an undisclosed injury. He makes his return on the fourth line tonight, slotting in for Juho Lamico. We'll run through the lines real quick. First line stays the same. Jack Hughes centering Stefan Nason and Jesper Bratt. Second line remains the same as well. Heischer centers Meyer and Mercer. Third line stays the same as well. Cody Glass, Andre Palat, Arseny Gritsyuk. Luke Glendening is the 4C today. I would have kept it Lamico, but it is Glendening. He is centering Paul Cotter, scored the shootout winner on Saturday, and Zach McEwen. Defensive pairings are the same as Saturday's as well. Siegenthaler Nemeth was great on Saturday, as was Brendan Dillon and Luke Hughes. The nightmare pairing, though, Dennis Cholowski and Colton White are back together for the third pairing. Can we please just bring up Ethan Edwards or Seamus Casey? I can't watch any more Cholowski. Seriously. Now, of note, Connor Brown is not back in. His day-to-day injury, hopefully it's not one of the Taylor Hall day-to-day injury types where he's out for 6 months, but on Saturday, Sheldon Keefe did say his return was not imminent. I would say I think we wind up seeing Brown back just based on things that I've heard, either this Saturday in Washington or next Tuesday in Tampa. Oh, by the way, I will be at both of those games as well as the game in Sunrise on November 20th. With everything going on with the FAA, I might just drive that from Tampa or from DC to Tampa. My dad's down in Florida. I'm spending Thanksgiving with the Pops and my grandparents down in West Palm Beach. I might just drive it. Means I'm just going to blow all my money at Buc-ee's. I mean, what else is there to do? But that's neither here nor there. Speaking of driving, the New Jersey Devils have been driving the W bus at home. And that is despite some shoddy goaltending from Jacob Markstrom, who is in net tonight. Markstrom 4-2-0 this season. The record a little bit deceiving because, oh boy, he has a 3.95 goals allowed and a save percentage of .871. Was not great against Montreal on Thursday, although the Devils came back and won it in overtime. I think you need to put Markstrom in. I don't want to get Jake Allen burnt out, even though he has been the better goalie, so to speak, this season. I just don't want to overuse Allen. And yeah, you paid Markstrom 2 years, $6 million. I think you need to try and find a way to get Marky back on track, which is why, like I've said, I don't have the Devils winning this game. I feel like Markstrom plus the Cholowski White pairing remaining the same, it just does not feel like a recipe for success. So I expect Islanders fans to be yesing tonight to the tune of a 4-2 win for the Fishermen. But with the way the Isles defense unit looks, obviously this could be a game. I mean, absolutely no reason to rule anything out. Now, Dougie Hamilton, on the other hand, has been ruled out for about a week. That's what Sheldon Keefe said before Saturday's game. He will be, I would guess, back somewhere on the road trip, which goes, by the way, Chicago, Washington, Tampa, Florida, Philadelphia. So a bit of a roundabout-ish way to get 5 games on the road off your schedule. The Devils, after tonight, are not set to play at home again until the 24th of November, when they are going to welcome in the Detroit Red Wings. That is the first Jersey game of the year for what they are calling the Jersey Bye-Bye Tour. Yeah, there's some rumors that there will be a new third jersey joining the uniform fray next year. This has been confirmed to be the last season of the black jerseys, which I happen to like. I don't love them, but I like them enough to own one of them. I think they wear a lot better on the ice than they do on fans. At least than they do on me. But I have a Nico Hischier jersey. I love it. It is also like my profile picture, me skiing in a Nico Hischier jersey on like everything. So make of that what you will. So it's a tough 5-game road trip coming up. I said before the Montreal game, I would like the Devils to take 2 out of 3 wins at minimum on this trip. Was not expecting them to win both Pittsburgh and Montreal, but they did. Is it too greedy to ask for another dub tonight ahead of a road trip that might be tough given the lack of defensive depth and all the injuries? Maybe, maybe not. Like, obviously, it's not the end of the world if they lose this game. It's November 10th. But with the way the division's shaping up, banking points is going to be important. You take them any way you can get them, and it should be an interesting contest tonight at The Rock. When we return, a couple more things, just a state of the league, given that the Metropolitan Division, a lot more interesting than I think some people might have expected, and that's coming up next on Locked On Devils. Once again, today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The NBA is back, and there's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you missed the start of the game or want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. It keeps every game exciting, especially when your team is making that late push. Or even for me, kept yesterday's Giants-Bears game exciting, even though I knew that my football team was going to break my heart. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. I think we haven't done this yet. Just a look at the state of the NHL in the standings department, given that usually it's right around Thanksgiving, which is a couple weeks away, before teams can really assess where they're at. That's always what Tom Fitzgerald loves to do, the Devils GM. Let's go division by division. In the Atlantic, Montreal atop the Atlantic division with 22 points, tied for the Devils in that department points-wise. They are 10-3-2. Of course, one of those 2 overtime losses came to the Devils last Thursday. maybe a tad surprising, the Boston Bruins. 10-7-0, good for 20 points, second in the division. Tampa Bay, I expect them to improve as the season goes on. They're in third with 18 points. Beyond that, the East is really competitive. Toronto looks bad, but even they have 17 points. Ottawa has 17 points. Florida, they have 15 points, but they're banged up because of everything from the last two cup runs. Detroit's sitting there at 18 as well, and then Buffalo at 14 points in the basement. The more things change, the more things stay the same. Philadelphia is 8-5-2, good for fourth in the Metro. The Islanders 2 points behind them at 16, and then the Rangers 7-7-2, the best road team in the league and the worst home team in the league. By the way, the Rangers are facing off against the Nashville Predators tonight at Madison Square Garden. Would be very Preds, for lack of a better term. Nashville is having just an absolutely hellish season. They're 5-8-4. It'd be very on brand for Nashville to give the Rangers their first win at home. Only other action in the NHL's Metropolitan Division tonight. It's a later game. Columbus 7-7-0 at 6-6-4 Edmonton. Edmonton is typical Edmonton. Score a lot, can't keep the puck out of their net. Columbus is in last place in the Metropolitan Division with a record of 7-7-0. Like I said, 1 point ahead of the perhaps surprisingly low Washington Capitals at 15 points, 7-7-1. Then your New York teams, Rangers and Islanders, both tied. Yeah. Oh, have I mentioned the New York Rangers have been shut out five times in 7 home games? I'm not sure if I brought that up on this show, but it is hysterical. It is awfully funny. What is also awfully funny is the fact the Devils have managed to stay where they are record-wise despite all of the injuries. It's astounding. It speaks to the job this coach has done, speaks to the job that Jake Allen has done, and it speaks to the job that guys like Jack Hughes, Brendan Dillon, Shimon Nemec, who I have been awfully hard on, still believe he had the best game of his NHL career on Saturday. Not just the season. I think that was the best game of his career against Pittsburgh. So that excites me. But I would just personally keep your expectations in check over the next few games until, at the very least, Dougie is back, because things are going to be a little bit, I think we're going to be hanging on for dear life a bit here with the lack of defensive depth, and that's getting ahead of ourselves to a 5-game road trip. So it's not a must-win by any means tonight, but I'd really like the Devils to go into this road trip on a high note, because I think points are going to be tougher to come by on the road against a team like Chicago, who is young and fast, or a team like Tampa or Florida that have really figured ways out to grind games out over the years, to the better veteran units in the National Hockey League. So it's going to be tough. Every win is important, no matter how early it is in the season, and the Devils are just, by stacking points, you're putting yourself in a better position for when people come back from injury, and once we get around towards trade deadline time, when this team is ready to make a push to become Stanley Cup contenders, which I believe they are a few moves away from doing just that. And if you are in position to make those moves, then things are certainly exciting. But sit back, relax, enjoy tonight's game. I will have a recap tomorrow morning of what happened in Devil's Isles tonight, and then we will get on with our week. But yeah, congratulations, fellow Giants fans. The Wicked Man is gone. And I know if you're a Devils fan or an Islanders fan, you might also be a Giants fan, so you could very well be listening to this very podcast. But one more time, congratulations to Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 podcast network for sports in the world. And this is just a small piece of that pie here on Locked On Devils. So Zach Berman signing off. Have a wonderful day. Let's go Devils.